Hey everybody, it's Jason, Lucky's dad. I just want to have a short discussion about airlines and the difference between American and Chinese airlines. So, I'm leaving to go home to America soon, and initially I booked a ticket on Xiamen Airlines, Xiamen. I've flown them once before. They were amazing. They were a Chinese carrier. They're not one of the biggest. Um, but they do things much differently in Asia than they do in America. So in America, let's say you book on American or United or Delta, and your flight gets screwed up. Um, well, you're screwed. You're on your own. They don't care. They're not going to book you if you have a flight on Delta. They're not going to rebook you on United or American or Southwest. They're not going to do it. They don't care about you. This is what happened to me. So my flight from Phnom Penh to Xiamen Kuche, I'm not saying that right, but first I was going to Xiamen, China, and I would sit for about 2.5 hours, and then I would go to LAX, to California, in America. Um, for some reason, that flight was canceled from Phnom Penh to Xiamen. And so initially they put me on a flight the day before where I would have to sit in China for 24 hours. And I didn't want to do that. Uh, I was afraid my bag would get lost and that I I'm just afraid sitting in China for 24 hours in the airport would be stupid. So I called them and I said, "Hey, can I get some help, please?" And I spent about a half hour on the phone with their customer service at Xiamen Airlines, and this is what they did. Uh, Initially, they tried to change my flights around so that I was flying on Xiamen, and I would leave a day or 2 days earlier. And I said I didn't really want to do that. I would if I had to, but I didn't really want to. So they ended up changing my flights so that I still fly on the same day. Um, I fly a little bit earlier. Instead of leaving at 12 noon, I leave at 12 midnight, which is okay. From there, I now fly to Shanghai, China, and then I go from Shanghai, China to America. And I do this all on the 19th, and I leave China on the 19th. I fly for basically 16 hours altogether, from Phnom Penh to Shanghai, and then from Shanghai to LAX. And I get to America the same day I leave. So with the time change, it's really confusing. We're like 14 hours ahead in America, or I'm sorry, 14 hours behind. No, yeah, 14 hours behind. You're ahead in Asia. So when I leave, I even get to sit in the airport for 5 or 6 hours in Shanghai, but I get to America the same day I leave. And I actually get there 2 hours before, which is kind of crazy. Uh, don't ask me how it works, it's just the way it works. Uh, Long story short, they booked me on a completely different airline. Instead of going on Xiamen Air, I'm now on China Eastern. Now, they're comparable in terms of what they do. Neither one is they're not like Emirates or Qatar. They're still good airlines, don't get me wrong. And the food is good. Uh, the TV doesn't have that many American movies, but it's the same service you would get from either company. But the point is that they went out of their way to book me on a completely different airline to make sure that I would get to my location on time. And that way I could meet my next flight, because I don't live in LA, in Los Angeles, California. I live in Denver, Colorado. So they actually put me in to LA 2 hours later than I would originally get there, but that works because I have a red-eye flight in the morning out of LAX to Denver. So I get to sit a few hours overnight. I think it's like 6 or 7 hours I have to sit in LA, but that's okay. I don't care about crap like that. Uh, but again, the point here is that Chinese airlines are willing to do anything to make you happy. And along the process, they even saved me money, and they're going to end up sending me a refund. It cost me $360 to go one way from China. I'm sorry, from Phnom Penh, Cambodia to America, which is dirt cheap, really dirt cheap. Uh, Normally, round trip tickets are around $1,000, and so I got my ticket for 360 to LA. Then I have another ticket on shit airlines, Frontier, and with my baggage, it only cost me $84 to get that flight from LAX to Denver, which is insanely cheap again. So my whole ticket ends up costing about $450, which again, dirt cheap. Uh, I'm just so surprised at what the Chinese airlines will do in order to make you happy. They have China Eastern, they have Air China, they have China Southern, they have Xiamen. They have so many different airlines that they could put you on. And because they're all run by the country, um, they could put you on any of them. And they're more than happy to do that. And I'm just so shocked at how crappy American Airlines are and what they will do in order to make an extra dollar. Whereas the Chinese airlines are subsidized by the government and they just want to fly the routes. They don't care about making money. It's not that important to them. They do make a ton of money because there are over a billion Chinese. But yeah, American Airlines, they suck. And the more you live internationally and the more you get out of America, the more you see the quality of life outside of America is so much better. And, I'm not knocking America. I'm American. I've lived there my entire life. I have a second home here in Cambodia with my wife and family. But I would never want to bring my wife to America. America sucks. It's dirty. It's expensive. People are miserable all the time. No one's happy. The food is crap. It's unhealthy. And me, I'm living in a place where everything's organic. The people have no money and are the happiest people in the world. And they just want to live their lives every day. America, we want more and more and more and more and more. And everyone's miserable and mad. And we have the worst genetically modified foods on the planet. And everything's so expensive. And my God, man, it makes me realize that when I was in my 30s, I should have bugged out of America a long time ago and left. And now I come back to work, and I come back because my mother and brother are still in America, and my mother is 80 years old. And God knows I hope to have another 20 years with her, but, the average age in America is 77 of death, so I'm scared to never see my mother again. But yeah, the quality of what you get on non-American airlines versus the American-run companies is amazing. You also don't get a mid-40s flight attendant who's slightly overweight and miserable and has an attitude. And if you fart the wrong way, she says, "Oh, I'm going to turn the plane around and call the police on you." Nope. They're young, beautiful women. They're happy to do anything. They'll bend over backwards to make you happy. I went to Singapore a month ago, and the wife and I needed to renew a visa, and every time I come to Cambodia, which I've been here 18 times, I take my wife to a new country. I want her to see the world. And Singapore's not far. It's only 2 hours away from here. But she had never been there, and we'd been to Malaysia before. Singapore is the bottom of Malaysia. And I said, hey, let's go to Singapore. It's cheap, and we can get my visa renewed really quickly, and you'll get to see a beautiful city. So we flew Emirates, and the flight was 1 hour and 40 minutes. And Emirates gave us a meal, a good meal, not this box lunch shit you get at America, or chips for $9, or Pringles for $11, or a Coke for $6. No, they gave us a wonderful meal, and if you wanted to drink 10 beers or wine, you could. There's no charge for it. The plane we flew on was a 737, and it wasn't very. No, I'm sorry, it was an A321. I apologize. It wasn't that old, but not all the seats had electrical outlets, and my wife's phone wasn't charged that well, and the USB plug that she had next to her screen wasn't charging efficiently. So the flight attendant saw this, came over and said, "Hey, do you want me to charge your phone for you?" What? Yeah, of course I do. Thank you so much. Oh my God. So he took our rapid charger, he took it back to a normal plug they have in the galley, he plugged it in, and 45 minutes later he comes back, he goes, "Hey, do you want your phone?" No. I'd forgotten about the phone. Oh my God. He goes, "Yeah, I'll go get it for you, don't worry." Comes back, the phone's 100%. And here's me just thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. You're so helpful. And he's laughing and smiling. "Sir, that's my job, no problem." During the flight, my wife got cold. Um, so we asked for a blanket. And they happily go and they get my wife not one but two blankets. And as we're leaving, she goes to hand the blanket back to them. And normally on American Airlines, people throw things on the floor, they leave it on the seat, or they don't even give you one unless you beg for it, or they make you pay for it. Uh, he goes, "No, take the blanket, please." And my wife doesn't speak English, so she doesn't understand. But I look at him and I'm like, "Do you want me to take the blanket?" He goes, "Please, sir, have it. Remember your flight on Emirates. Please fly us again." Um, that's the quality you get of flying non-American airlines. And if any of you ever get the chance to leave the country or to fly around America, and you could do it on a non-American airline, you will be amazed at the difference in customer service, the difference in happiness of the people that are working, and the difference in the level of what they do to make you happy. Um, anyway, this is a long bullshit video. Sorry about the rambling on and off, guys. But yeah, don't fly American Airlines. Don't give them your money so that they can make you feel like you're bothering them to be on their airplane. Go with an international airline and you will see just how amazing the world can be when you're not miserable. Anyway, folks, have a wonderful day. Sorry about the rambling. We'll see you on the next video soon.